They
And
actually,
so what did socialism, what does that mean in terms of Venezuela?
well, socialism basically is the opposite of freedom of industry, or freedom of
Yeah. Free markets.
free markets, right? Right. So in capitalism, you have free markets, you have competition, you have liberty, freedom. In socialism, you don't. It's all not, it's all planning. So we had that before. When Chavez came to power, he started taking over all the industry. For example, telecom, oil and gas already was there, but he intensified that. So he took, like, for example, the revenues, the oil and gas revenues, to have social programs. And also socialism, also it's the enlargement of the government, it's enlargement of social programs,
Okay.
and really the crippling of liberties, property rights. No, you have the right to rent or buy or sell whichever price you want, whenever you want it, in your terms. If you want five employees at $5 or 10 employees at 10. I mean, it's your discretion, right? And you're going to define your own success. In socialism, no, because everybody has to be equal. And for example, I remember seeing Chavez talk about the glass of water. He had a glass of water while he was talking, and he said, you know what? It's not fair that I have a glass of water. Everybody else should have a glass of water. So it's like no VIP for anybody. We have to be,
Even though he's literally being the VIP.
But he was a VIP.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, yeah, well, if you're poor and you're hungry, you can go and steal. But and he was talking about poverty, but his watches were expensive, and his suit were expensive, and he was basically running the nation, sending out checks to people with no control. And I mean, that was the money that came from that money belonged to the whole nation, not himself. And he can distribute it like that, but he was winning votes. And socialism is all about lying and deceiving people and saying, yes, we're gonna be all equal, it's gonna be beautiful and better in the future. And with that, he just kept the promise. We're gonna be great, we're gonna be a superpower. The future's gonna be bright. And let's forget about the past. The past is no good. So, for example, Columbus's statues were torn down
in Venezuela.
In Venezuela, yes.
Other statues too, or just Columbus?
Mostly the Columbus, because it's a rejection to the past. It's a rejection to tradition. Whatever it was, it has to go, because socialism creates a new reality. And sometimes the reality is just fake. For example, I remember him talking about, in Caracas, there's a river that it's really, in bad shape. It's really dirty. And he promised that he was going to clean that river, that we were going to be able, Venezuelans were going to be able to go and have like a pool in that river. It was going to be so clean. That was not possible. But I'm sure many millions of dollars were poured into that project. That was no good. It was not realistic.
So you talked about lying and stuff. I mean, have you heard the term gaslighting?
Right. Yes, that's what psychopaths do.
Okay, so he's essentially just stringing them along with no intention of actually, or even getting people convincing that he's the good one and they're.